So he told me, well, first of all, welcome back. Welcome back. Made to Multiply, Lady T here around these parts. We celebrate the liberation from limitation and the brilliance of both. And we were made to multiply, and we trust that God has equipped us with everything we need to do exactly that. So if you did not watch the first part in this three-part series called Self-Compassion, then on this MLK 2026, then I urge you to watch the first one, 3 minutes long. It doesn't take much time. So my therapist said to me, and this is where we ended off in part one. He said, of all the things I had been experiencing, all the things that I was going through, the trauma, the tragedies, the loss, even it was a lot that year. Even my executive position, it was just one thing after the other after the other. And so of all the things that he that I shared with him, his response to me was he could tell just from the screening, because that was our very first session. So the screening I did, the pre-screening I did prior to the first session, he could tell that I was a person, as much as the things were accomplished, as skilled and talented and gifted as I was, where I lacked was the area of self-compassion. And so there was as much grace and patience and compassion for everything and everyone around me. But when it came to myself, there seemed to be a bar or a standard that was set so high that when things like this were happening in my life, my own self-imposed expectation is that I would be able to travail through this or somehow succeed in a thing despite all of the opposing factors, or not even opposing factors, life just lifing. And so when I didn't achieve a thing during the course of that year, or I did not complete a goal in its entirety, instead of celebrating the progress, looking at the mile markers and engaging how far I had come, if it wasn't complete success, then it was just a dropping of the ball. And that was not, or is not, the case. And so in all of my grief, the first thing I had to do was practice self-compassion. I needed to turn the grace and the patience that I extended to others to myself. And I write about it in my book, The Multi-Hyphenated Life, The Brilliance of Both And. You can get it on tushira.com. That's just my first name here.com. And you see it right behind me. It is a future New York Times best-selling book, all right? Award-winning book. But here's what I have to say about compassion. I shared with you in the first video what Coretta Scott King said and what Dr. Martin Luther King said. Here's what I say. Here is the power of self-compassion. One of the most underrated tools in preventing burnout is practicing self-compassion. I want to, in the next video, tell you how.